So we're gonna start standing. This class is mostly standing, and at the end we do some seated. Start in a standing meditation, having our feet hip width apart, spreading the toes wide, gripping the ground, rolling the shoulders back, closing the rib cage, opening the chest, relaxing the shoulder blades behind us. Mountain is always an active pose. And a lot of people think mountain is just standing there, but we're doing a lot. We're engaging the feet, sending energy through to the legs, lifting the kneecaps with the thighs. And we're closing the eyes here. You can have them gently open. And we're just gonna rock our weight side to side, so feeling the energy, the heaviness on the edge of one foot, then slowly to the center of the foot, and then to the other foot. And going back and forth like a tree swaying in the wind. Then we're going to go forward and back. And you can bend the knees here now, moving the torso a little bit, maybe even the neck. And you can add the arms now. And we'll come back to center. We're going to do a couple of Qigong warm-ups. So we're going to interlace the fingers. The knees are bent, we're hip width apart. On the inhale, we do a slight, even deeper bend of the knees, interlace the fingers. Halfway, when we get to the sternum, we flip the palms, and then we push up towards the sky, getting a stretch. Then deepening the exhale, we float down, release the hands. You can bend the knees as much as you need to. Then we're going to bring the fingertips to the feet and touch the body all the way up. So let's do that together. All right, so inhale, exhale. Inhale, touching the tips of the toes, the tops of the feet, the shins, the knees, the thighs, front of the hips, and release. And we're doing that for all four corners. Inhale, flip, reach to the top, exhale. Going to the back now, so the back of the heels, the calves, back of the knees, the thighs, the glutes, the lower back, and release. 2 more times. Flip, extend, exhale, hinge. Inner thighs, inner calves, inner knees, inner pelvis, and release. 1 more time. Now the outer ankles, calves, knees, thighs, hips, and release. Do another Qigong warm up. So we're gonna make a little triangle with our hands, and then we're gonna bring the triangle up. We're gonna look in between the triangle. So normally you would find the sun if you were outside. You're gonna exhale to one side. The opposite leg is bent. The leg we're going towards is always straight. Toes are up. And we exhale, scooping down, like we're scooping some ice cream. Inhale, coming up. Looking in between the triangle as much as you can. Exhale, other side. We're waking up the brain by having the eyes follow as we move in space, and we're waking up the hamstrings even more. Going at your own pace here. And release, we're gonna do a standing cat-cow. So you might notice in this class we do all 4 or 6 or 8 directions. So for the exhale, we're gonna round the back, bring the hands up in front. Inhale, open up the chest. And exhale, round the back. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And release. Warm up the torso a little bit more. So imagine that a string is pulling your ribs to one direction then the other. We're not moving the legs that much, we're just moving the torso. Bend the knees to help you. You can have the arms out to the side or on the hips. So we're moving just the torso, ribs side to side. And now front and back, just like cat-cow, concaving the chest and opening the chest. And now add it together, we're gonna make a square. Front, side, back, side. Front, side, back, side. And switch directions. Side, back, side, front. Side, back, side, front. And now see if you can make circles with just the upper body. If you're not used to it, it's a little weird. And switch directions. Now we're doing the hips, so just the hips isolation. Imagine the string is pulling your hips from side to side. You can have the arms out. You can have fun with this. Bending the knees, so the more you bend the knees, the easier it is to isolate the hips. Now we're gonna do front and back. So a lot of people feel uncomfortable doing this for some reason. It's totally natural, normal movement. It's really good for the spine. Now we're gonna add that together, making a square. So we're gonna go front, side, back, side, front, side, back, side. Now switch directions. Side, back, side, front, side, back, side, front. And making it more fluid, so turning it into a circle. You can have fun, add some arms or whatever, and switch directions. And we're gonna add a figure 8 now. So you might wanna look at my feet if you're not used to doing figure 8s. We bring the heel up, the hip comes down, heel down, hip comes up, around, and down. And that's how you do the figure 8. Often a lot of back pain comes from having really tight hips. People don't swing when they walk anymore, and that's really important is to have that natural swing. So doing these kind of belly dance moves releases the spine, gets us back into our sensuality. I'm gonna play the music a little louder, and I want you to really feel the music, and now add all those things that we put together. Add the torso, add the hips, add the isolations, and just freestyle for a little bit. This music has some kind of parts as a little more sharp parts. So where does that feel in your body? Maybe add a circle, maybe bring the arms up, bring them down. Bend the knees more, maybe touch the ground. Reach for the sky. Just warm up your body. Enjoy the music. Cool. All right, we're gonna do some dance yoga moves here. Getting into the strengthening portion. So we're gonna be in second position, or slightly not as wide as a wide-legged standing split. And we're gonna come into goddess arms, bending the knees and squeezing those shoulders back. Goddess is one of the best poses because we are working everything. We are engaging the quads, the hamstrings, the butt, the core, the shoulders, the back, and the smile, all right? So you got options here. You can either straighten and bend with flat feet. And I want you to squeeze those shoulder blades back. Option 2 is in releve, meaning I'm on the balls of my feet. Really engage that core, don't try to fall over here. Couple more. And the last one. And we're gonna hold down here. You can stay in releve if you want. And we're just gonna bring one knee in and the other. You can add the arms. Little plie, little bounce. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten for a moment and coming back down. Now we're going to pulse up and down, very small. You can come on to releve. You can add ballet arms if you want. Woo. Legs should be burning by now. And release. We're gonna take a nice stretch here. Make the legs a little bit wider. Inhale the arms up, pull the shoulders back, and exhale, hinging down. First, we're gonna bring the hands to the center, and we're gonna do a little twist here. So bring the right arm up into the air, looking up towards that shoulder. And exhale, bring the hand down and switch. And down. And up. And down. And up. And down. And now let's walk our hands over to the right foot. To the left. And then to center. We're going to do spider to straightening, or you can do lunges. So spider is we walk our hands a little more underneath us and we bend the knees. And from spider, you can just stay here with the knees bent. You can kind of rock your hips side to side just a tiny bit, or you can straighten and bend. Or you can come into a more martial arts lunge to lunge. So whatever you want to do, whatever is comfortable. dynamic movement here. And wherever you are, we're going to come back, and then we're going to walk the hands out in front of us until we naturally start to come slightly over mid-lunge. Make a little tense in the hands, and then exhale, sending the energy down, getting a nice stretch in the shoulder. Chest goes towards the legs, arms stretch away from the legs. And then we're going to walk ourselves back, bend the knees slightly, bring the hands on the hips, and coming back up. Woo. All right, shaking it out. We're going to do a warrior 2 sequence here. So coming to the top of our mat. When you're ready, inhale the arms up. Exhale, sending the right leg back, coming into a high lunge. But what are we doing? High lunge, you might ask. We are doing lunges of death. Oh, okay. Bringing the knee down and up. You can always use a wall to help you. If it's not hard enough, you can also use weights. Or you can have your hands on your hips. And last one, opening up into warrior 2. How do we advance this band movement? So you can move your neck, move your shoulders, move your torso. Well, the legs stay the same. We're still sideways. See if you can add movement. The arms here. And coming into revolved warrior. Flip that front palm. Exhale. The hand can be on the calf, on the thigh. And see how you can find some movement, some dance here. Revolved warrior, legs stay the same. Front knee is bent, back knee is straight. Feet pushing into the ground. And inhale, come back to your warrior 2. You want to straighten the leg for a second? Take a break. And exhale, coming back. Reaching into side angle. And I don't want you to just flop here, although if that's where you need to be, that's okay. But we're gonna play here, moving the arms and holding our torso up. It's actually a really hard workout on the thigh if you're doing this right. And coming on up. Bring that foot in a little bit into triangle pose. Teeter-totter that hip away from you. Reaching towards the ground. Hand does not need to reach the ground. What's important is the openness of the hip. And can't do too much movement here. Maybe play with the fingertips. Come up halfway, so engage the core, and we're going to reach. And coming back up to your warrior 2, good job. We're going to point both the toes forward, back into a wide split, and we're going to just take the goddess pose here. And onto the other side, warrior 2 on the other side. We will end with lunge on this side. So don't worry, we'll get to it. And see how you can play here in warrior 2. Smile if you like. Smiling releases happy chemicals in the brain, serotonin. And exhale for the front palm. Come into your revolved warrior. See how you can play here. Maybe it's just waving the hand. The deeper the lunge, the more challenging. And inhale, coming back up to your warrior two. Come, let's take a break. Still being a lot right now. And exhale, coming into our side angle. And playing here. Make sure that knee doesn't splay too far away or too close. And coming on up. Woo. Triangle on this side. Reach till you can't naturally reach anymore. Coming either to your leg, thigh, block, or the mat. Even though I can reach the mat, I often jump all the way down because then I actually lose a little bit of the stretch. And inhale, engage the core. Holding here. And inhale, lifting up. Woo. Flip that back foot so it matches the front. And lunges on this side. Bringing that knee down. Stepping forward and let's come into a standing forward fold. You can bring the elbows together, coming into ragdoll. And just let the head shake yes, shake no. Bend the knees. And slowly coming on up. Good job. Okay. We're gonna get into some standing poses, and then we're gonna do a little bit more dancey stuff. So grab a chair if you need one, if you're usually fall when you're balancing, and grab a strap or a scarf. So let's take like 30 seconds to do that. So hopefully you got your strap or your scarf. I'm just gonna put it around your neck. And let's do a dance break for just about 10 seconds here. Just kind of shake it out. Shake out the wrists, shake out the hips. All right. Okay. We're gonna put all the weight into the left leg, engage the foot, and come up to a standing knee. So we're gonna bring our hands in front of the knee. And each inhale, bring the knee towards us, and exhale away. Music might be a little loud. Okay. So we're here, and I'm gonna show you the options, okay? First option is to just hold the knee here, keep the hips square. Second option is to straighten the leg, hold it in space. Third option, bring the strap around the balls foot and hold the leg up. Choose your adventure. Be strong in that leg. Woo. So one is more stretching focused, one's more strength focused. You choose. And when you're ready, we're going to bend that leg, open it to the side, and do the same thing to the side. Woo. My feet always cramp when I do this. Get used to do that. Find a drishti point of focus to help you stabilize. And when you're ready, gracefully bring that foot down. Maybe massage your foot if it was cramping. And we're going to do the other side. Signal the energy into the right leg. Standing tall. Feel balance first, and then bring the knee into the chest. Exhale the knee away, and inhale the knee in. Last one. Options again. Bent holding, straight holding, or use the strap. Try to keep the hips squared as much as you can. Eyes stare at eye level across the room. Send your energy into that leg. And bend the knee, bring it to the side. Either keep it bent or straight. Woo. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Shake it out. Let's do a 30-second dance break here. Woo. Shake out those hips. Okay. Back to the balancing again. You might want a chair for this if you haven't used one already. So we're going to open the feet into first position, and we're going to tendu. So that's what I want. And we're going to lift the foot up and down, toes pointed. And bring that toe back in, and come up to the other side, and up, and down. Have the arms up, arms above, and brush that foot back in, and to the back, and pulse here. And bring it in. And let's do the other side. brush and lifts. Gauge that core. Try to keep those feet pointed away from each other and brush back in. Brush out to the side and lift. And one more. And brush in and to the back. And back in. Plie. Woo! All right. Last one, I promise. All right. First position. Just like in tree pose, we're going to come up to tree pose, and then we're bringing the leg out, and we're pulsing the leg from bent to straight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring it to tree pose. I know, kind of brutal. If you fall out of it, just come back in. Take a moment here in tree. Bringing the arms out to the side, goddess arms or straight, and we're going to actually twist our tree. If you wanted to learn how to balance way better, my class is definitely for you. Woo! And gracefully coming back down. Woo! Stretch out those feet. And we're going to do the other side. Once again, you can always use a wall or a chair if you need to. All right, coming up to where you would be in tree, and then bend and straighten. Smiling. Even if you're low down here, that's fine. You only get better by trying. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Coming into tree. Woo, find your tree point of focus. Really send energy down to the ground. This leg's pushing away. Either cactus arm or airplane arms. And we're going to twist the tree. And last twist. Come back to center. And gracefully put that foot down. Woo! All right. Hope you're doing good. Stretch out those feet. Make a different song here. Actually, no. Okay. So we're going to get into the cool down soon. I'd like to just get a little more dancing here. So we're going to go kind of like a slow salsa. 1, 2, 3 count. Very slow. Feeling the jazzy music. And forward. And back. And forward. And back. And to the side. To the side. Together. Side. Together. Side. Together. Side. Together. Now let's just sway the hips in place here. Bring the arms up and down and up and down. stop. And figure 8. And side to side. And we'll do a freestyle now for a minute. Let's see. So something a little faster than this. This is a good one. So you can even add the ballet that we did. There's bounce in this song, so you can add some bounce to your set. Follow me, or you can do your own thing. If you want to add a shimmy, maybe. And gorilla dance back. Just have fun with it. Maybe slide side to side. Express yourself. We often don't give ourselves permission just to have fun. Good job. Okay, take a little bit of water and we're going to do our deeper stretches. So we're going to come onto the mat. This wouldn't be a dance yoga fusion without splits. So I always do splits every time. Sometimes we can get to both directions, sometimes we only do one version of splits. So we're going to bring the legs wide. Make sure your sit bones are underneath you first. If you feel like you're going like this and the back is rounding, put a pillow underneath you so you can have a flat back. Toes pointed up the whole time. Once they fall down, you start to lose that inner thigh stretch. Use the outer thighs to engage to keep those toes up. We're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, the right hand either comes to the center or onto the left thigh. Get a nice stretch here in the hip. Relax that shoulder. And inhale, coming on up. Both arms up, come left. Both arms come up, move those shoulders back. Bring the torso over to the right leg. Chest comes towards the knee. Head may touch the leg, it may not. If it doesn't, you can always stack fists, let your head rest. Use a pillow, use a block. show you what we're gonna be doing. So just watch first, and then you're gonna do along with me. So on the other side, we're just gonna go straight to it, but we're gonna go back to this side so I can show you what we're gonna do. So we're down here, okay? Then we walk ourselves to the center. We'll take a couple breaths here, enjoy. Then we're gonna walk ourselves all the way around. Use this hand to push against the ground, point the toes, and lift up. Beautiful modern dance move. Okay, so you can try with me. So coming back down, engage the core, relax the back. Okay, we're back to the right side. And let's walk ourselves to the center. And enjoy a couple breaths here. And now let's do the modern dance move, walking ourselves all the way around until we come on up. And we hold. So the feet are on the ground. And if this is too wonky, you don't want to do it, that's fine. You don't have to do it, don't hurt yourself. But if you are able, this is a lot of fun. And then exhale, coming back down. Woo. Let's do the other side. All right. Right, whoa, yes. The left hand comes to the center or to the right thigh. And relax that shoulder, move it back behind you. Bottom shoulder's completely relaxed. Smile. And inhale, coming on up. Move the shoulders back. Bring torso over to the left. Exhale, reaching down. And maybe you only come this far, and that's completely fine. As you practice this multiple times a week, you'll get closer and closer to the leg. Maybe you're all the way to the ground. I don't know. I can't see you, but this is one of those things that you just always have to do. And we're gonna walk ourselves to the center. We're gonna enjoy the center stretch a little bit longer than the last time. You can go a tiny bit lower. Keep those toes flexed and pointed up. We're gonna walk ourselves all the way around and lifting up. And exhale, bringing the hips back down. Woo! Good job. All right, we did a lot of inner thighs, so we have to stretch the outer thighs. I'm gonna show two options here. You can either do fire log, or you can do figure four. So if fire log is not accessible for you, do figure four. Figure four is on your back with the legs crossed, arms come in between, toes are, both feet are flexed, and you stretch here. If you can do fire log, which is like the best pose honestly for stretching the outer thighs, you're gonna have both feet parallel to each other, and maybe you can do this, but one leg comes up slightly. That's okay. just put a pillow underneath you, if that's the case. Both feet are flexed. Inhale, moving the shoulders back. Exhale, hinging down. You can either stay here in the center or you can walk yourself to the side. And we'll take a long, nice stretch here on both sides. If your head's just floating and it's uncomfortable, you can always stack your fists on top of each other. So bring your hands to your elbows to the ground and your hands up and hold your head. And at any point, you can always lift yourself up a little bit to stretch the feet. And if you're on the center, maybe you come to the side. If you're doing figure 4, you can always do a slight rock from side to side. That feels nice. And if you're in figure 4 and it's too much, you can always come to your knees, knees to chest. Taking a couple more breaths here. And walking ourselves back to center. And coming on up. Okay, we're going to do the other side. So we're just going to switch legs, whether on your back or you are in fire rock. All right, glue the shoulders back and exhale, hinging down. If your mind starts to wander, just come back to your breath. And if you're in fire log, you can bring your hands over to the side if that feels good. And back to center. And walking ourselves up. So we've got 5 minutes. We'll do Savasana now. If you're already on your back, great. Just straighten your legs. If not, we'll all come to the back. Something chill. So relax the shoulders, relax the legs completely to the mat. Relax the hips, relax the neck. They say the corpse pose or savasana is the hardest pose because we're completely relaxed, doing absolutely nothing. It's the nothingness that is where the most growth, the most creativity, the most peace comes from. So just take the next couple minutes to be in nothingness. Relax your face, take a deep breath, we're gonna reach the arms above the head. Take a nice deep stretch. Imagine someone is grabbing your wrists and ankles and pulling your body in opposite directions. It's a nice deep stretch. And bringing the feet to the mat and rolling over. Coming into fetal position. And using that bottom hand to help you come up to seated position. And we'll close today with 3 deep breaths. So we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale the hands to the heart. 2 more times. Last time. Interlocking the knuckles, bringing the knuckles to the forehead, the middle of the forehead, the pineal gland, and the third eye, locking in this practice. Bringing the hands over the mouth to remind us to say kind words to ourselves and to those around us. And bringing our hands over to the heart, sending love and healing energy to all the people in the world and all the animals that desperately need it. Just taking a few moments. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you had a lot of fun. And together we say namaste. Yay!